So a few things before we begin this video properly. I'm going to show you a clip from Team VVV's interview with Marcus Nielsen himself, and he will say something about cops and racers always being in Need for Speed or always being a focus.
Is it always going to be open world? Probably. Is it always going to have cops and racers? Probably. Is it going to have autolog? Probably. Is it going to have all drive, the system that we're going to be talking about? Probably. Will it have, deeper and deeper customization? Absolutely.
Links to the full interview is down in the description below. It's quite old, but it does have a lot of good stuff in there that may get you hyped up for the future. But the main thing I wanted to bring up is cops and racers. They're really focused on bringing cops and racers to Need for Speed and keeping it there. And I don't know if, they maybe changed their mind, possibly. This, rather than being this will be Need for Speed 2015 to me, this is more like this could be, but it could also be something they bring in the future as well. So cops and racers could mean multiple things here. We've obviously got rivals in where cops had high-end cars, racers had high-end cars, racers would run away from the cops, and that was the main concept of the game, which not a lot of people liked. Hot Pursuits, the main thing was if you're a racer, you could race, or you could run away from the cops in events, and the cops would try and kill you, which honestly, not a lot of people at that stage really likes. The majority of people seem to side with the majority, obviously, of people that actually prefer to have decent end cars. You start off with lower end cars, get to higher end cars, and you have crap Ford Crown Victorias chasing you, but as your heat went up, say they got Corvettes or something, and that was pretty much the cut-off line. They didn't get much better than that. Now, other than those games, is there any other game in the Need for Speed series that has a different concept of cop versus racers? The only other concept of cop versus racers in Need for Speed to me would be Undercover, and it makes total sense. Think of it this way: in Undercover, you were a cop and a racer. You had certain missions in where you were a racer trying to be undercover, obviously to get to a certain point, but you were also a cop in where you ended up busting some people on certain missions. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be Undercover 2, but I'm talking about the concept of being an undercover cop. It makes sense because you're both sides of the law, meaning some events would be specifically to take down other players that are, say, on all drive or AI, and it would be a very good basis to build specific game modes off of. So there could be one in where you're doing a race, and secretly 2 or 3 of those people in that race of, say, 10 people are cops, and all of a sudden they can decide to, well, come and take you down, probably, try and bust you in the best way possible, hopefully without the pursuit tech this time. It would also make a great basis for the storyline, because undercover cop stories have always been something I really like, as long with revenge stories, so it could be a bit of both. It could be a mix of, oh, these guys killed my family, so now I'm gonna be an undercover cop and kill them. I'm a racer. Something like that. I don't know. So I think in the future, if they went with a concept like this, I'd be quite happy indeed. Because, as I said, it's the best of both worlds. You could create a lot of game modes on top of this in, like, hide and seek around the city. You don't know if that person is a racer or a cop. You're taking each other down, and say the cop ends up being left because he didn't take racers down. You could build a lot off the top of just having the player as an undercover cop in Need for Speed again. Also remember that Undercover was actually the last entry to the underground era of Need for Speed as well. So carrying on from that would also make a little bit of sense. But I don't know, I just thought I would share this idea with you guys. Would you be happy with being an undercover racer where they built off the ability for you to, well, never be a cop at all or always be a cop? It's up to you completely. It doesn't matter, it doesn't affect your progression in any way, really. It just means that you'll get awesome cars, you'll have awesome cop chases if you want because you're an undercover cop, you'll have awesome game modes in where you've got to guess which is the bloody cop before he ends up taking you out. There's a lot of stuff that could be done here, and it sounds freaking awesome to me. But anyway, let me know what you think down below in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new, and like if you want to see more like this, where I'm just randomly talking about possibilities or my brain farts. I don't know. I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.